When you're stressed, upset, or overwhelmed, it's completely natural to want to feel better. And preferably, we'd like to feel better right now. That's where coping can become complicated because something can make us feel better for the next 10 minutes, the next hour, or even the rest of the evening, while actually making our lives harder tomorrow. So today I want to ask you a simple question. Are you coping with the problem or avoiding it? And before we go any further, I'm not being fun-averse. This isn't about saying that everything enjoyable is bad for you. Having a few social drinks with friends can be part of a perfectly enjoyable evening. But there's a big difference between having a drink because you're socializing and repeatedly drinking because you're trying to forget how you feel. It's the purpose, pattern, and consequences that matter. Poor coping strategies often have something very attractive in common. They work quickly, at least temporarily. If you're worried about money, buying something can give you a quick boost. But irresponsible spending can create more financial stress later. Gambling might provide excitement and distraction, but losses and escalating gambling can create serious financial and relationship problems. Alcohol or other substances might temporarily numb difficult feelings, but relying on them to cope can create additional problems of their own. And don't forget nicotine and caffeine. When we're stressed or exhausted, it can be easy to find ourselves increasingly relying on cigarettes, vaping, or endless caffeinated drinks simply to get through the day. Avoidance can take other forms too. Some people withdraw, they stop answering messages, they stop seeing friends, they stay at home. That might feel easier in the short term, especially if being around people feels difficult, but prolonged isolation can remove exactly the social support that might help. For other people, coping becomes risk-taking. They might drive recklessly, seek increasingly dangerous experiences, or make impulsive decisions. Others might use sex or multiple risky or impulsive sexual relationships as a way of escaping difficult emotions or seeking reassurance. Again, this isn't about judging people. It's about recognizing a pattern, short-term relief, long-term harm. So grab a piece of paper. I want you to write down all your go-to coping strategies and be honest.
So what do you do after a really difficult day? What do you reach for when you're anxious? What do you do when you're angry? What happens when you feel lonely? Maybe you exercise. Maybe you talk to somebody. Perhaps you disappear into social media for 3 hours. Maybe you go shopping. You might pour a drink, go for a drive, order food, play games, go for a walk, sleep, smoke, work even harder, cancel plans. Whatever it is, write it down. Now, beside each one, ask yourself, is this good for me or not good for me? But don't judge it only by how you feel immediately afterwards. Ask, how do I feel tomorrow? Does this solve anything? Does it create another problem? Am I in control of this behavior, or is it beginning to control me? And here's another useful question. If my best friend told me this was how they were coping, would I be concerned? Sometimes we're much better at recognizing unhealthy patterns in people we care about than we are in ourselves. The goal isn't to remove every pleasure from your life. The goal is to build a coping toolkit that doesn't charge you a bigger price later. So look at your list again. Which strategies genuinely help? Keep those. Which ones are beginning to concern you? Perhaps those need changing, and if a coping behavior feels difficult to control or is causing harm, don't assume you have to deal with it alone. Talking to someone you trust or seeking appropriate professional support can be an important next step. Coping well doesn't mean never struggling. It means finding ways through difficult moments that don't make tomorrow even harder than today. So remember the question, is this helping me cope, or is it simply helping me escape? The difference matters. For more information, check out our OTER videos on well-being and positive coping.